a means to an end.
What kind of means to an end? Like the means to an end only works if we're getting like at least for us, in my opinion, a means to an end should only be pushed or preached if it's because it's adding a valuable something valuable to it, right? But we're not. So for example, like in where the American dollar has lost value, our credit rating on the global market has dropped. Our relationships with other countries and world leaders has dropped. It has been severely ruined. So, for example, Canada Prime Minister Carney very flat out said that the relationship with the United States of America is forever changed and it will never go back. The United Kingdom said the same thing.
Oh,
This,
I don't disagree with you,
yeah, and I don't think that's a
and it,
good thing.
but all of those things were post election.
Right,
So there
since
was,
Trump has been in office. That's
say it
why I
again.
don't ask people why they voted for Trump. I ask why they still support him.
Yeah, well, my line in the sand, and I do understand that, you know, foreign policy has been hurt a little bit, but I mean, you could say that for every president, anybody who sat in that chair. I guess my line in the sand is when he pardons Ghislaine Maxwell. That will probably when I jump ship.
What about his Department of Justice approving her move to a minimum security prison in Texas? That isn't even supposed to have.
Oh, trust
Um,
me, that's the prerequisite to the pardon. I'm not.
yeah.
I don't. It's club fed, you know. I think part of it is because I listened for the 4 years of his presidency and the subsequent 4 years afterwards. People on the left, like I thought that the outline of him as the as a Nazi and as a white supremacist, I thought it was a little bit overboard, right? As I as I dug into headlines, I saw that
Hmm.
some things weren't necessarily true, and it was it's probably my ego, right? Is that I want to admit that I was that wrong because I mean this what I do think is unprecedented is I mean I thought his immigration policy, although it wouldn't have been what mine would have been, I guess mine would have been more if you're an easier path to citizenship, right? So if you're here, just let us know you're here, and we'll get you through, and whatever background checks that would take.
Oh
Um,
yeah, no,
I do
I'm a
think,
big supporter of amnesty, because that's basically what that would be, right? Is so you grant individuals that have
yeah,
been
yeah, yeah.
here, undocumented
But
immigrants,
mass amnesty,
amnesty,
or would you selective amnesty?
as long as they haven't committed any crimes since they've been in the United States, and the only crime that they technically committed, which is again just a civil penalty, is crossing the border through a non-port of entry, then it would be mass as long as they've never committed a crime. Like,
I happen to agree with that. I think that any other way, right? Any way other than amnesty, it does create a caste system. It does create, basically they're in hiding. I work in construction, and there's a lot of um, what do you call them on the show? Undocumented?
undocumented, unauthorized.
Yeah, undocumented or unauthorized citizens that work within the industry. And I mean, to be honest with you, it's I've never had a bad experience with any of them. So it's especially the hard, but they do the hardest jobs in my industry.
Oh, for sure. Like, I agree. It's some of them are the hardest workers that we see. I'm not going to say all of them because not all of them are, and some of them aren't able to. Just like we have some American citizens that aren't able to work in labor-intensive jobs, right? It's just kind of how it happens here. I so that's why it's like amnesty is something that I definitely support. And let's just say I won't even be as generous as Reagan was when he was president. He did, I think it was 3 years. I want to say if you've been here 5 or more years, right? Never been convicted of a crime, never been accused of a crime, right? Even though we are innocent until proven guilty, and I support that. But I think that we should take a little bit closer look at their cases. If they've been accused of a crime where they found innocent by a jury, then 100% they can stay, as long as they weren't convicted, right? But if they were just accused but never found, then that's something we have to look into, and then we have to evaluate their case, right?
Wait, so you're saying, wait, let me just clarify. So you're saying if they've been here for 5 years?
5 or more years.
Or more?
Mm-hmm. Amnesty.
Okay, but what about those that have been here for less?
That would be a case-by-case basis.
Right.
That one would have to be taken down to the very much individual level.
Right. And anyone under 5 years, if you miss court or you miss your appearance, you'd be subject to deportation at that point, correct?
Yeah, that would be grounds for removal.
To the country of your origin.
Right. Yeah.
I'm so confused. I honestly, for the first time in my life, feel like there is no way out of it.
Out of this presidency, or what? No way out of what?
There is no way out of the decrepit nature that the republic is under. Right. Unless money is taken completely out of politics, right?
Yep.
Unless it's on an individual basis, small dollar donations, I don't see any way that this country turns.
I mean, we're never going to get rid of super PACs like APAC. We're never going to get rid of them from being involved or existing or continuing to contribute monetary donations or anything like that. We're never going to get rid of them, unfortunately. That's just kind of how it is. I would agree with you on that base level. What I think is a great start would be
having them register.
Well, no, I was going to say the very first thing should be getting money out of our politicians' pockets, starting with, right? Like the people that are already elected into office or seeking election in office. So specifically, have you heard of the Honest Act that was introduced by Senator Josh Hawley?
I have heard of it.
I support that one wholeheartedly.
Wasn't it named something else though?
It was named originally the Pelosi Act, which I think would have. I think if they would have kept it that name, I think more Republicans would have supported it.
No, I agree, because then you would have had 50% of Congress vote for it.
Yeah, I think renaming it was a mistake because a lot of us, like I personally, don't support Nancy Pelosi. The only thing she's good at is understanding the quorum, the rules of Congress, like understanding the complexity that goes into. One of the most
prolific fundraisers we've ever seen.
she's great at that.
Right.
Understanding the complexity that goes into bills and everything like that, acts of Congress, like she's great for that kind of stuff. I don't support her as an actual politician or staying in politics. She can be like.
Tell me about the Honest Act a little bit more in detail, because I know it broadly, but what specifically do you?
Yeah, so. Some of the main provisions, because I haven't been able to find the bill itself on Congress, which I've been keep trying to dig for, because I want to read it. But basically, the base idea of it was that any future politician that wants to go into office, right? So, and this only goes into effect for the next election year. So this would be 2026, or even if it were to be passed prior to September 30th. So it could go into effect on October 1st across the board. And this would apply to any special elections that happen between then and now. So any congressperson that gets elected in 2026 would have to divest all of their stocks or in all of their crypto coins. The only exception to the stocks part is if you have retirement. You don't have to do anything with that because those are automatically traded, right? That's not something you really control. Stocks are your retirement is traded. Okay. So they would have to divest all of their stocks. They would not be able to buy any more stocks or crypto for the entire time that they are in office. And if it were to pass immediately, so 90 days of passing, no congressperson would be allowed to even start trading again. So they would have to freeze all of their stocks trading and all of their crypto trading. They wouldn't be able to do it.
I would even go a step further and say that I would support giving them an appreciation value that matches the S&P 500 in order. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's almost so they can make money on the money that they've already had, but they can't make individual trades based on a committee, insider information that they give them a committee or something like that.
Yeah, it could. And for the next election year, it does apply to the vice president and the president, but it only starts applying to them for whoever is elected in November of 2028.
Oh, what? So you can't launch a coin before you take office?
Yeah. If you did, you'd
What
have to
about
sell it off.
how do you feel about single issue bills, right? Because it also seems like those what do they call omnibus bills, where they just load this shit. Excuse my language. I'm sorry.
Good.
If they just load these bills up with so many things, and there's so many triggers in them, so they can get attacked in the upcoming election. Do you
So
think there's ever a chance that we get single issue bills?
So here's the thing, right? I would be in majority support of single issue bills, with the exception that I know that work wouldn't get done in Congress. So the reason why they have to usually compile bills, put them together, make it a mishmash, is because if the majority already supports the bulk of the bills that are in there, they're going to vote for it. If there's an outlier that supports one thing, they're going to vote for it. But the reason why they do that is because individual bills, like when they are introduced into Congress, they usually die in committee.
I don't understand that. So not to start a civics class now, but the bill is written, right? Introduced.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody brings it to Congress, right? So
Yep.
a congressman, and then what? After that, it goes to committee,
Correct.
they can negotiate different parts of it.
Mm-hmm. Goes to committee, and usually it dies in a committee. So like the Honest Act wasn't going to pass originally, with the way that it was introduced by Josh Hawley, and the Democrats were staunchly against it. And then he reached across the aisle and said, hey, let's work together. I'm not saying Josh Hawley is perfect, but he did a great job with even just introducing that bill. But when he reached across the aisle and he worked with the Democrats, they rewrote the bill, and then it had Democratic support. So it was every single Democrat in that committee voted for it, plus him.
Huh. And that was it?
Yep.
What about, do you know if Massey voted for it?
No, I don't know if Massey is on that specific committee. I just know that every other Republican that was on that committee voted against it. Like Rick Scott specifically spoke out and said that you're going to discourage businessmen from wanting to become congressmen. Why shouldn't we be able to make money? And it's like, sus.
Yeah, because he's a great guy. So then what's the next step, though? So, I mean, as far as action items, because that seems like a pretty good place to start, right? So everybody that's on the live now calls the representative. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I did this yesterday. I was like, guys, if you really want to even just start rolling out money out of politics, call your senators and tell them to support Josh Hawley's Honest Act. Call them, bombard them, leave them messages, send them emails, and say, support this act to keep everyone honest. You just make it a little quip, right? But it's needs to happen. Like, this is the first start.
And my pushback on it dying at committee too would be if there was restrictions against these huge omnibus bills, which would force people to have, or maybe it's not. Maybe there's a limit of how many, like, for lack of a better term, like subjects are in a bill. It would force people to push, to reach across the aisle, and it would force people to have simpler bills. Because it's just like it doesn't. I try to read a bit. I mean, some of them are over 1,000 pages, and there's zero chance that anyone gets a chance to read these bills before they vote on them. I mean, I would say for the majority, because the turnaround time is so short.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you're voting on, releasing the Epstein files, and then we'll have a recess for over a month before we get back.
Oh yeah, that one was ridiculous. Okay, what I think is funny is that on Josh Hawley's website, he's still calling it the Pelosi Act, and I think that's hilarious.
That's the best name ever. I mean, it's using Trump's tactic to his advantage, right? If there's one thing that Trump does really well, it's those, giving people nicknames and calling people things that sticks to them like glue. and that bill would get more attention, called the Pelosi, Pelosi Plus Act or whatever else we call it, than anything else.
Yeah, no, I think it would have been more of an attention grabber, but I think it would have also given the Democrats a reason not to vote for it. So I understand it. I do. But if it made it back to the House, it wouldn't need the Democrats to vote. So, but that is, well, it actually would. It would need bipartisan approval because there's going to be a significant number of Republicans that are so far against it. It won't even be funny.
Oh, well, of course. I mean, there's going to be people on both sides because the amount of money that what was Hawthorne or whatever his name. I saw the list of Congress people and the amount of money that they've made, and it's really disgusting. I would even be in favor of giving them pay raises and matching the return on the S&P 500 if it meant that we could get if we could lean out the corruption.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I think it's actually like probably not like the best thing for me to say, but I also don't care. 10 years for a raise is too long for anyone in a government position, especially being on Capitol Hill, right? Because not only do Congress members have to have a house, a residence in their home state, they also have to have a residence in Washington, D.C. You can't do that on a $157,000 salary.
No, unfortunately, no, it's impossible. And you're making it makes it impossible for someone who isn't already wealthy to make that commitment. If someone is making a really good living at what they do but isn't independently wealthy and can't retire, then they're not. The best of us are not going to do this. They're just not.
Yeah, I think that honestly, I just think that we need to encourage more individuals that understand what it's like to live off of nothing to run for Congress instead of businessmen, businesswomen that already have it made. But I do appreciate the conversation. I am going to go ahead and move on, but I hope you have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Hey, how's it going?
Going well. How old are you?
I'm 23.
Good point, Nixie. Okay, did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Do you still support him?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you mind if I do a quick PSA?
Yes, sure. No.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you. TikTok, I'm going to mute you guys real quick. Little bit, I wish. Anyways, over on YouTube, if you send a super chat, it does go right up on the screen. Or if you become a member, it will also go right up on the screen. So just consider doing that. And thank you guys again for all of the Twitch watchers. I know Twitch is new, so watching 4 chats is a little bit much. But guys, yeah, that's how that happens. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when I go live. Back over on TikTok, we have a small little kitty gift goal. If you guys want to help meet that, that's great. Let's go ahead and get up to 100,000 likes in the next 5 minutes. And if you're not aware of what this means, go watch my first pin video and play the game. Let's get involved in the contest, guys. All right, caller, what's the main reason that you still support Trump?
The main reason would be economically and civil rights.
What about the economy specifically?
Well, personally, I have a business in Florida, and even before Trump, we were pretty struggling. Unemployment rate actually was very, very high under Democratic leadership. Now, I'm not Republican or Democrat, and I actually, over the years, I really liked a few Democrat candidates, but no one can deny that over the few 10, 15 years that America has been under mixed leadership, under Republican leadership, more specifically Donald Trump, unemployment has been at a low, the GDP has increased, local produce has been more valuable, local production has been more valuable. We've been able to have more negotiation when it comes to importing and exporting. And me personally, I'm against the tariffs. So I'll tell you that out front. I don't fully support Trump, die hard, everything he says I agree with. I support him, but also I have my own mind to make my own decisions on what I do like and I don't. I think that tariffs are they hinder global trade with the United States, especially with our neighbors up in Canada, which I also have citizenship in, and with Mexico as well. So me personally, I think the economy under Trump locally for the U.S. has been much stronger than under, for example, Biden. And the only reason I'm going to compare him to Biden is because that was the last president, so it makes more sense. It's more recent. But internationally, I think it's taken an economic hit. Sorry if I went on a rant.
No, you're good. Can I modify this myself? Sorry, I'm trying to see if I can set this a specific way. All right. Yeah. Are you gonna let me do this? Okay, it will. Okay, perfect. So that'll allow me to see all of this. All right. So, are you aware that under Biden, the unemployment rate actually beat Trump's?
No, not based on some of the statistics I've had. If are we talking about the second term or first term of Donald Trump?
Oh, first term, right? So where he hit a 40-year historical low of 3.5% February of 2020. Oh, thank you, Moose.
Sorry?
No, you're good. Sorry, I was reacting to
okay.
TikTok.
Yeah, no worries. Me personally, I don't know, based on the sources I've read, under Trump, unemployment has been on the lowest. But even if I'll take your word for it. Let's say Joe Biden beat Donald Trump in unemployment rate.
He did. But in April of 2023, it reached 3.4%. And then if we, let's see, I gotta go to the next one real quick, guys. Let's do 10 years because it's gonna be a better graph for me to look at this. So it looks like we don't have the final numbers for GDP, but even like looking at this, the GDP comparison, even in 2023, we were just under Trump's highest peak of 2.9% of GDP growth in 2018, but we reached a 6.06% growth GDP in 2021 under Biden.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Me personally, as a business owner,
I don't count this against him.
I've been more affected. Oh, okay.
I was talking about 2020. I don't typically count those numbers against Trump.
Okay. All right. Well, there's no problem. Other than that, me personally, I think that I said my second issue was civil unrest when I called in. So the first one was economical. Second one was civil unrest. Me personally, based on what I've seen, and again, I do support Trump, but I wouldn't consider myself a Republican. Under Joe Biden, there was much more civil unrest in the country, and even it flowed into Canada as well. And under Donald Trump, there was civil disobedience because of protests against Donald Trump, I would say. However, under Joe Biden, it was more the population having a civil unrest between each other. And for me, it wasn't really like if it's civil unrest against the president from a certain group in the country, it's understandable because it happens almost every term where people are disappointed with a presidential candidate, because even in the last few years, presidential races have been pretty close. So you could say almost, half of a population would be dissatisfied with the results of an election. But me personally, under Joe Biden, I've seen a lot of civil unrest, a lot of crime rates go up, and
crime is down. Crime was down under Biden.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
FBI statistics and data, sir. Like this has been a known thing since 2024 that crime rates went down year over year under Biden. So 2021 going into 2022 going into 2023. Like crime rates went down during Biden's presidency. So you can't even make that claim. Now, I'm not going to say that there weren't protests or anything like that, but protests have existed from forever. There were protests under Obama. It was highly televised, but people weren't paying attention.
100%. I totally agree with you, and that's something I said too. That almost under every president, there's going to be unrest towards the president, protests or whatnot. But I feel under Joe Biden, it was heightened tension. To be honest, I'll point it out from both sides. Under Joe Biden, white supremacy was very, very, very in the forefront of the news, and I don't agree with it, but it was in counter to, Antifa and counter to or whatnot, and that spilled into Trump as well because of Antifa's hate towards Trump and white supremacy support towards Trump. But me personally, I'll say something I've experienced. Under Joe Biden, the administration was weak in decisions and was weak economically towards Canada as well, because here in Canada, I have family and I live in Canada, inflation rate has gone up ever since Joe Biden took presidency as well, and that kind of friendly touchy with Justin Trudeau, which was also very bad for the Canadian economy.
Hold on real quick. No. Joe Biden caused inflation in Canada. Is that your premise?
I would say with the relation with Justin Trudeau, yes, it did, because Justin Trudeau started importing mass U.S. products, which devaluated a lot of Canadian products and businesses.
Well, so specifically, though, you said when Joe Biden took office, I know you now have said that you live in Canada and you have businesses in Florida or whatever. When was Joe Biden's first day in office?
I don't know the exact day, to be honest with you.
Month and year?
Out of the top of my... Trump went into presidency. Trudeau went to prime minister 2016. Biden went in, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Biden go in around, because his term ended in 2024, so would it be around 2018, 17, I think Biden went in? Am I not mistaken? No?
This is why some people should not get involved in American politics. No.
I'm American.
Then you need to retake civics. And I'm not trying to be rude, but that was far off.
But it doesn't really matter to me because when they took office or when not, because I know
no, it's actually important because you basically said that Joe Biden is the reason why Canada faced inflation, without taking into context. You blamed him because of tariffs, trading, his closeness with Trudeau, etc., etc. But so Joe Biden was sworn into presidency January 20th, 2021. What was occurring globally during 2021? The very beginning of 2021. We'll just go with that.
Okay.
What was occurring globally?
COVID.
C-19, correct. Every country in the entire world, including the United States of America, face inflation as a result, a direct result of C-19. Every single country faced inflation. A lot of countries saw their inflation go so far as to quadruple or go over that 400 percentile, right? And for what they saw their inflation rate rise to. Okay. So it's literally impossible that somehow Biden is responsible for Canada's inflation. It was a direct result because of C-19.
I didn't say he was directly responsible. I said his relationship with Justin Trudeau was what led to the major inflation.
Weird. Oh, okay. Did it also lead? Did his relationship with the Prime Minister of France lead to France's inflation going up during that time?
They're not neighboring. And
okay, how about Mexico? How about his closeness or his relationship with the Mexican president in 2021? Did that cause Mexico's inflation to go up?
No, I don't think.
No.
It did, Mexico
okay. So it was C-19. Got it. Hey, Camera King. So what we're saying is somehow it's very specific, only to Canada and Joe Biden's relationship with Trudeau. But it has nothing to do with France, has nothing to do with Mexico, because Mexico is just not
No,
as
it doesn't.
great as
Because
Canada. It has
no, because
France isn't a neighbor, has nothing to do with Germany. So Joe Biden was so powerful, guys. He somehow directly affected just Canada's inflation. Little Joe Biden, who also was incompetent, couldn't speak worth anything. D-U-M-B-A-F, as everybody likes to say. Thank you so much, King. Like, apparently, but somehow he adversely affected Canada's inflation because of his relationship and cooperation with Justin Trudeau. I gotcha. All right, man. Have a good one. Stick with Canadian politics. Thank you for holding the stream. Are you there?
Hello?
Hi, how old are you?
There's a peanut.
You sound like a peanut. I don't know what a peanut sounds like, actually. And thank you, King. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there? Okay. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there? Hello? I know, I get interesting conversations, King. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Hey.
Hi, how old are you?
Bro.
Okay. Couldn't hear you. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
How old are you?
I'm 13, okay?
All right. Have a good one, child. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yes, hello.
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay. Did you vote for Trump?
No, I actually just want to
Thank you.
become more educated about why you don't like Trump. So I
Sure.
just want to figure out why, because I've
Are
heard
you
both
still-
about Kamala and Trump.
Yeah, are you still watching the stream right now?
Yeah.
Okay, go back to it. I'll answer it for you. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yeah,
How old are you?
you're gay.
Thanks. Gay means happy, man. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yeah, it's me.
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 44.
You voted for Trump?
What now?
Did you vote for Trump?
Oh, hell no.
Okay, well, I appreciate you, man. All right, I'm gonna just run through this really quickly. I don't support a president that actively goes against articles and amendments of the United States Constitution. I don't support a president that talks about annexing our neighbor Canada, or talks about buying another country known as Greenland, or taking back the Panama Canal that was rightfully given back to Panama through an act of Congress in 1999 after civil unrest broke out due to American military occupation. You're welcome. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there? Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How old are you?
What?
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 18.
I'm no longer talking to
18.
18-year-olds. Have a good one. Listen, I feel like when I'm talking to 18-year-olds that I'm just like beating them up over stuff that they haven't comprehended yet, and I don't think it's fair anymore. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
I'm here.
Awesome. How old are you?
I am 54.
Okay. Did you vote for Trump?
I did.
And you
And
still
my
support him?
question- Absolutely. And what my question for you is, I noticed you only let people comment who subscribe, which is only going to be leftists. You only going to allow leftists to be on your little stream?
No, sir. I have plenty of Republicans commenting in there right now. They're, in fact, like, hold on. I guarantee I can find someone really quickly.
Why did you support Biden? Why did you support Biden?
I didn't. So, like, here, Dean, he obviously subscribed just to tell me that I'm not respectful, right? Like, there's plenty of people that go after me in these comments.
They should.
Joey
You're
goes
out of your
after
damn
me in the
mind.
comments all the time.
You're
I
out
don't
of
know
your
if
damn
he's
mind.
supporting me or not. He confuses me, but thank you, Joey, for being here like every day. Someone else just subscribed just to be like, this show sucks. So, like, this isn't, oh, okay. I was literally just going through comments. Did I hurt his feelings just to prove a point? Okay. See, look, someone literally said that they subscribed just to tell me they don't like me, and that's fine. You do that, man. I don't care. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Hi, I'm Jacqueline.
Hi, Jaslyn. How old are you? Okay. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there? People are very angry. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
You're awesome.
Yeah.
How old are you?
30.
Did you vote for Trump?
I don't vote, but I support his policies.
Okay, I'll entertain this for a moment. What is the main thing that you still support of Trump? And also, thank you for the 5. Green Lantern said, it's also your stream and you don't owe anyone a platform. That is true. Thank you. What is one of the main things that you support about Trump?
I support the Canada or the Mexico-American border. I support the deportations. I support the tax relief for all Americans. I support building the wall. I support most of everything he's done.
Okay, so you said, I mean, I'm not really sure. So what specifically did Donald Trump do to, quote, shut down the border?
Actually follow the laws. I mean, he just enacted the laws to shut down the border. Yeah, laws that have been in.
Thank you, CJ, for the 20 on the green app. Said for keep destroying MAGA. Sorry, I just want to make sure I got that in there. So, the policies have been the same for a long time as far as what CBP, DHS, ICE all follow. The only thing that Donald Trump basically did was write an executive order or two that said, you must follow this policy, which they were actually already doing. So the border isn't shut down, and I think you understand that.
Is that why we had hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens coming into the country over the past 4 years?
Where do you find the number of how many people came in?
Shut down.
Where do you find the number of how many people came in?
I mean, you can go to the White House website. You can go to
whitehouse.gov.
I mean, you can go to any website that talks about it.
No, I want a primary source. Can you direct me to a primary source?
A primary source.
Yeah.
I can't direct you to a primary source, but you can see it.
So I'm gonna give you a hint why I'm asking it the way that I am, and why I'm asking you to direct me to a primary source. There is actually nowhere on DHS, CBP, or ICE's websites that directly tally up the number of individuals that actually came in or were allowed into the United States across the southern or the northern borders. There is nothing that quantifies that. The only thing that they actually tally up at the southern border and the northern border, and even who comes in through ports of entries like airplanes, right, airports, or the ports themselves, right, is crossings, apprehensions, and then removals. So again, none of those are actually including count of actual crossings, people that were allowed in. So when you're talking about millions of people being encountered, yes, sir, millions of people were being encountered at the southern border. And when I look at CBP's website and I see how many that they're telling me were encountered month over month, right, and I see that number, to me that tells me that CBP was doing their job. And that's what that means to me. When I see the numbers, that means that CBP is doing their job. They're processing each individual. You can even look at their apprehension rate, right? And you can tell that that's how many people that they completely denied entry to and removed, right? Deportations. Go ahead.
Is that why we're seeing thousands of people every single day getting deported out of the country? That's being reported? Thousands of people every single day?
The majority of those individuals that are actively being deported or picked up by ICE aren't even considered undocumented or unauthorized immigrants. Most of them actually had legal status that was just revoked by the State Department and President Trump's administration. So no, sir, the majority of them... Where do I get that from? The United States Supreme Court authorized Donald Trump to remove the legal status of 500,000 individuals. So when you're talking about the 1,000 individuals that are being like deported or picked up, detained every single day,
I said thousands.
1,000, sure. 3,000 was IC's supposed number that was given out as part of the goal to reach, right? The goal to reach. 500,000 were authorized to be revoked, their status to be revoked by the United States Supreme Court. Prior to that, they were all considered legal immigrants and they had status to be here. ICE is literally picking up people on their way to and from their immigration court hearings, which is actually doing it the right way. So, no, the individuals that you're even referencing right now for who's being picked up and detained are in fact were previously legal immigrants that had status to be here. They were then just sent deportation orders after the fact, after, unfortunately, the United States Supreme Court allowed that to happen. He's not deporting all of these millions of illegal immigrants because they're not here.
Where are you getting the statistic from? You said...
I just gave it
direct
to you. Like, so, okay. SCOTUS. Approve.
So, where is it, you said?
It was 530,000 migrants. So you can find the direct, I wanted to find the direct case, but I couldn't find the direct name for it. But Supreme Court allows Trump to revoke legal status for 500,000 migrants. In fact, it was 530,000 migrants. Let me finish. Okay. 530,000 migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. Right? So let's see. Do they have the case name in here? No, sometimes Google just isn't your friend on finding a direct source for what you need. So that's why. No, I'm being honest.
BBC, that's extremely biased.
Oh, it's extremely biased? What political party?
What
political party is it biased towards? What political party?
It's extreme left. It's extreme left.
What political party?
Did you not hear what I said?
What political party? Left isn't a party.
Extremely biased.
Left isn't a party. Hey, Kristen, what political party? Left isn't a party.
Let me bring it up.
Oh, okay. Got it. You don't know. What does BBC stand for?
It's British Broadcast something.
British Broadcasting Corporation. Got it. Oh, here we go. There we go. Now I should have the case name. SCOTUS blog. There we go. Supreme Court allows DHS to end parole for 500,000 non-citizens. Wow. There we go. That should make you feel better.
Well, let's see the link. That'd be interesting. Or let's see it. You just close the browser.
There it is. Nome versus Doe. It's up there. Find the exact docket number. It leads to all of the documentation. Boom, with the opinion. There, I found it for you. Awesome. There's your primary source. Cool. Anyways, so again, a good portion of individuals that are being picked up and therefore detained by the United States ICE, DHS, CBP. Well, CBP doesn't operate within the borders except for directly at Border Patrol or at airports. So that one's kind of a nonsensical point to make. But as far as everything else, when we're talking about that, then yeah, no, sir. Again, the majority of them were, in fact, legal immigrants at one point or another prior to the United States Supreme Court ruling allowing their legal status to be revoked.
They were at one point or another. Interesting.
Right. They were under legal status until the United States Supreme Court allowed them to be removed. So, see, I don't think you're understanding how that refutes your argument. You're saying that all these people came in here illegally. When I'm saying that their legal status was revoked after the fact, that means that originally they came here under a legal premise. So that means they originally had legal right to be here as non-citizen migrants under a protected status until the United States Supreme Court allowed the revocation of their legal status to be here within the country. So that automatically refutes your point of all of these crossings that came in that are therefore then being picked up. That's why there's so many millions of not deportations, detentions are occurring within the country, right? And even then, we can also look at a DHS report that was released April of 2024 that also clearly stated that there were at least, ready for this, 11 million. Oh, this is going to be the wrong web browser. I got to pull up another one. Oop, can't put that one up. 11 million undocumented immigrants in the country since 1980s. 80% of them came in before 2010.
Okay, well, whether they're here illegally or not, all 10 million's got to go.
Okay. But you're the one that also made the claim that somehow there were all of these millions and millions and millions and millions of people that were allowed in or crossed over the border illegally under the Biden administration, which is not proven. So I've answered your question now 3 times to try to explain to you how I know that not all of them they came in specifically under the Biden administration. And that doesn't refute the claim that the border was weak at any point, according to you, right, under the Biden administration, or that it was somehow closed. Like, I don't think you understand.
Except for Kamala Harris literally said that was happening.
No, she didn't. She literally
She
told them
didn't
to
do
say,
anything
"Don't
at
come
the
in."
border at all.
What
There was
job?
also
What job?
videos
What
of
job?
thousands
What
of them
job?
coming
What
across the border
job?
as well.
What is the job of the Vice President of the United States? What is the What is the constitutional duties of the Vice President of the United States?
To follow orders from the president.
Wrong. That's not in the Constitution. What are the constitutional duties of the Vice President of the United States?
That's not what you said. What? I'm sorry?
I said, what are the constitutional duties of the Vice President of the United States?
Let me look it up.
Oh, well, thank you, Keel. I don't know how to say your name. D, thank you for your very first chat, and thank you for saying that. They usually don't, Kyle.
Is to proceed over the United States Senate,
Mm-hmm.
is second in power, is second in command.
That's
And
not
to take
second in
orders from
command
the
is not
president.
in the United States Constitution. It's literally for them to, that is correct, they preside over the Senate. They are the tie-breaking vote for the Senate. And then their other job by the Constitution is to just be a heartbeat. So the next person in line if something were to happen to the president.
There's other jobs of the vice president. It's happened throughout all of American history.
And
the
she
vice
was
president has done more than just be a heartbeat.
right. They do have some, right? What's diplomacy
And that's what I
duties?
just said.
And that's not what you said. So I don't think you understand. Like, I was trying to get you to explain to me or tell me exactly what on earth was Kamala Harris supposed to do about the border when she has no power over it. Also, 1 second, TikTok. Reminder, guys, over on YouTube, we do have super chats and memberships available. I haven't seen
She
one
was
in a minute.
appointed to be in control of the
So-
border.
No, she wasn't. She had one specific duty that was handed to her by Biden, and that was to find the root cause of migration from the Northern Triangle countries, which she did. There was nothing in there that says, you are in control of the border. Ooh, magic. It didn't happen, right? So when it came to those countries, what she actually was able to do was to get several different companies to invest within those 3 countries, right? So that they would have job growth, which they saw job growth as a result, right? And then they also invested in, guess what? Not only in those 3 Northern Triangle countries, but they also gave money to the United States to invest for the border wall itself. And not only was she able to do that, but working alongside Joe Biden, we were able to secure $1.5 billion of funding from the Mexican government for smart wall technology that is now being utilized today. So I guess if that's what you mean by being put in charge of the border, then she did a pretty dang good job.
She allowed hundreds of thousands of illegals
How did she allow
into
them?
the country.
How did she allow them? What exactly did she do to allow them?
She wasn't allowing the. Well, first off, the
Continue your
laws
sentence.
that are
Come on.
already into place was not allowed to be put into place. No one did anything at the border at all.
Wait.
It wasn't completely locked down.
There is. I'm sorry. How many miles of border wall are there? Or sorry, not border wall, but how many miles make up the southern border? Do you know how long it is?
Not sure, but I can.
You don't know? It's
say from the last couple months that
1,943. 1,943 miles of wall of southern border, right? Now, how many miles of border
Is that
wall?
why we're getting?
How many miles of border wall?
Getting,
How many miles of border wall are there?
Are you gonna say the same thing over again?
Yes, until you answer my question. How many miles of border wall is there?
Don't know, don't care. But if
just over, it's about
States
563. It's about 563 miles of border wall, which, let's be clear, that's less than a third of the entire southern border. So let's also be very clear. The southern, yes, I do. It's kind of a part of someone's neurodivergence. I'm sorry if that offends you, that people are able to memorize random shit. Yeah, sir, don't worry. It's okay. Anyways, so let's be very clear. If you only have 1/3 of the one border, right, a country's border under lockdown in any way, shape, or form with having walls across it, that means it is quite, in fact, impossible to be completely shut down or locked down when 2/3 of it are actually open.
Is that why we're getting reports now that nobody's crossing the border?
Oh, just because they say it doesn't make it true. So here's what I know I've already said this to you, so I'm going to posit it again. When we see an increase of encounters by CBP, that means that they're doing their job not only at ports of entry, but also non-ports of entry, that they are stopping people. So there are two things that are possible, right? Two things can also be true at the same time, to be very clear. Okay. The fact that encounters are down at the southern border by CBP could either mean that nobody's coming, no one is coming at all, or it could in fact mean that CBP isn't doing their job at all and people are slipping past them, or people are finding ways to slip past them. I believe that it could be a mixture of the two. So there are fewer people coming, sure, we can say that, right? But I also believe that there are more people finding ways around CBP. Two things can be true at the same time.
So you're willing to say two things can be true at the exact same time during this administration, but you're not willing to say that two things can be true at the same time of the last administration?
Oh no, there's 100%.
The last administration, 100%.
Can I finish my sentence? And you would also have to be telling me
on and on and on. And when I try to talk,
okay, well, let me know when you're done with your question.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you got to ask your question again now.
No, I don't even know what I was going to ask. What were you saying?
No, I gave you were supposed to ask your question again.
Oh. So you're willing to say that there's two answers with this administration, but not with the last one?
That wasn't your full sentence. That wasn't your full question either.
No, I don't remember what I was saying because you kept interrupting, but you can go ahead.
No, so it wasn't actually an interruption when you actually had paused for a second. I can maybe say that you are probably taking a breath, and my bad for cutting you off then, because I am not looking at you, so I can't know that you are actively in the middle of taking a breath, and that's why you paused to speak. So, can two things be true at the same time under the Biden administration? Yes. It can be extremely true to say that Biden did great things and also didn't do enough. right? It's also very true to say that the border saw a mass influx of individuals coming to the southern border. That could be a culmination effect of what caused it. Okay, so my opinion on what caused the influx at the border is going to be twofold. It's going to be because of C-19 when it was shut down at first under Title 42, right? And then it was also because the American media, the mass media, was telling everyone that the border was wide open.
And you could also literally watch it happen.
Yeah.
You
So
do realize
if they're
we're in
caught
the
on
year
camera, if they're caught on
2025,
camera,
right?
if they're caught on camera, I have news for you. That means that they were then also found by CBP. And if the individuals that recorded them on camera didn't report them to CBP, then they were in fact aiding and abetting in a crime by not reporting it to CBP. And the individuals that were recording and didn't report the crime should also be arrested and charged for aiding and abetting individuals coming into this country through a non-port of entry.
So you think the Democrats who were in charge of the country the last 4 years
did a good job and also didn't do enough.
Wow, talk about interrupting.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was the end of your question. Go ahead.
Is it? The Democrats have allowed hundreds of thousands of people into the country, force them into what are those cities called? Sanctuary cities, and then they vote for the Democrat Party. They have been. That's how it's been for like the last 20-something years. I mean, they force these people into sanctuary cities, which is why these sanctuary cities exist.
Can you remind me what blue state, or states, actually, let's try this plural. How many blue states are on the southern border?
Let's see. Well, I mean, you have one of the biggest ones, California.
Right, that also has the smallest section of the southern border? Like the smallest expanse of the southern border, California?
Was I gonna just stop at California? That's interesting.
They're the only one.
Damn, you can
Arizona is a red state.
It's not. I wasn't. No. All these sanctuary cities and blue states all over the entire United States of America?
So, no, I guess I don't think you're understanding this. Yeah, how would somebody get from the southern border to New York, sir? And for the equivalent, and to be flooded there, how would they get from states like Texas and then somehow be flooding to New York in droves all at the same time? How would they get there, sir?
So again, with this interrupting thing, you were not.
Oh, okay. So it's fine if you see, because the answer is your answer should be I don't know, because that's exactly what it is. Oh. So I'm going to help you out with something. Are you saying that all of the immigrants? Are you saying that all of the immigrants that flooded New York City and Chicago, they were all undocumented, illegal?
I'd say quite a few of them, yeah, probably.
Quite a few, most of them.
I mean, that's why thousands upon thousands have already been picked up and are detained.
Gotcha. So I'm actually going to go ahead and help you out with something. So what actually occurred were that in states like Florida, because people forget that Florida is actually a water border state, right? So they're considered a border state. And then you have states like Texas, right, where they get federal funding to actually house legal immigrants that come into the country, whether they're claiming asylum, refugee, parolee status, they're covered under TPS, or whether they're just normal people like you or me coming into the country, right? I'm not cool.
Most big
Anyways,
cities in Texas are blue.
Oh my God, no! I said federal funding. This is how I know you're not listening. Awesome, thank you. Anyways, Texas and Florida receive federal funding to actually take care of immigrants. However, what Greg Abbott, and he brags about this, by the way, out of his own mouth, brags about this on television, about he put these legal immigrants on buses to be sent to New York City, Chicago, and Los Angeles. Specifically, the ones in New York City and Chicago were sent in the middle of winter. So New York City only had one of two options. Actually put them up in some of them were condemned hotels, right? The Roosevelt was shut down for 2 years prior to being reopened to be made as a migrant center, right? Shut down, right? Had forced them to pay for immigrant housing. Otherwise, they were going to be dying on the streets in the middle of winter. So that forced, again, Eric said, oh my God.
Die in winter in Texas?
You are not listening at all. What state was I, what city was I just talking about? What state was I just talking about?
You're just talking being sent from Texas to Chicago and New York and all those places.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
So what governor, what state was I saying that was being forced to house them, or people were going to die in their streets?
You were saying Texas was getting federal funding.
That they kept. And the only part of the federal funding that they used was to put them on buses. Immigrants, legal immigrants on buses to ship them.
Do you have proof that they were legal? Do you have sources for that?
Yes, sir,
Or
because
you
we
just
can't
have
use federal funding to ship them up there. And by the way, you don't think Greg Abbott, if he knew that they were undocumented or not supposed to be here, let's just say unauthorized, right? Unauthorized immigrants. Would Greg Abbott put unauthorized immigrants to send them everywhere else in the country? Or wouldn't that be breaking the law, and by not reporting them to ICE or CBP, to deport them out of the country? So what you're telling me is that Governor Greg Abbott, and Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, they're in fact actually broke the law by trafficking illegal immigrants across this country to what you would consider a sanctuary city such as New York City, knowingly trafficked illegal immigrants, so people that weren't supposed to be here, across this country. So they engaged in human trafficking with illegal immigrants across this country. So, okay, so great. Governor Greg Abbott and Governor Ron DeSantis both need to be arrested for illegal human trafficking of illegal migrants that were not allowed to be in this country.
So if
Thank you. We all know how they got there. Greg Abbott brags about it. Ron DeSantis brags about it. If we're going to claim that all of the immigrants that were sent to sanctuary cities, such as Chicago or New York City, that were sent up there on buses, are all illegal, or the majority of them are illegal, then you have to acknowledge that somehow Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis had knowledge of this. His group, his administration, the people that authorized this to occur, had knowledge of their inadmissible status, right? And then knowingly sent them to multiple cities across the country, therefore engaging in illegal human trafficking. So lock their asses up. Super, it's not yelling. It's called I'm getting closer to my microphone and I turned up the gain. Anyways, guys, I'm a little bit past my time that I'm normally on. So TikTok, hold on, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Okay, Twitchies. I don't have a raid set up for you guys to go and do this. So, and yeah, guys, enjoy the cat in the background. I don't have a way to make you guys raid someone yet because I haven't set that up. But if you guys over on Twitch want to go to Polypolitics, okay? Polypolitics. Go into his live. It's Polypolitics. Go over there, Twitchies. Go over there. Tell them I said hi. I'm sorry I can't send over a raid in that regard. YouTubers, you guys go about your day. Do whatever you want. It's cool. Thank you for being here. You go over to Polypolitics if you would like, and then go ahead and also send a raid. Oh, really quickly, I want to address this comment. No, you know what? I actually want to wait before I address anything like this. I really want this to come up in the next conversation where somebody says this so I can bring up a source of knowledge. Okay. Anyways, YouTubers, go wherever you want. You can go to Polypolitics on YouTube. It's Polypolitics 1.0 if you want to go watch him. Just so you know. Okay. Guys, we're going to go ahead and shut it down for the night. I'll be back on tomorrow, probably closer to noon Eastern time or 1 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not sure exactly what time. Zoom out. Can you zoom out? Sometimes I hate this camera. I guess I need to turn that off. Anyways, I'll be back on tomorrow, sometime around noon. Let me shut it down. The other chats first. TikTokers, stay with me for a second. So bye over on YouTube. Y'all have a good night. Bye over on Twitch. Yeah, I'm gonna say it at the end of it. It's cool.